Hello, I'm Professor Susan DeGise. This tutorial is on Practice 10.5b. Directions. Add a second voice to Frère Jacques to create the given textures. So this is the melody that's given for all the questions. Now the sample asks for heterophony. Remember that heterophony is two voices with the same melody, but one voice has additional embellishment. So I'm just going to show you how I would come up with heterophony for this. I would start with the same melody, and then I would embellish it. So maybe here I would add an A sharp to connect that A to B. And maybe here I'll just change the rhythm up a little bit. Now, of course, there's going to be many different possibilities here. This is just one example, and I don't want you to watch me write in the whole thing. So let me show you what an end result of heterophony would look like. So here it's all typed out so you don't have to see my penmanship. And let me go ahead and play this example of heterophony. I'm going to play voice number 2 an octave lower so that you can hear it more clearly. And again, there are so many different answers you can have for this. This is just one example. Go ahead and do numbers 1, 2, and 3, pause the video, and press play when you're ready. Okay, so this is monophony, number 1. There aren't that many answers for this. However, this is written for clarinet in B flat, so we're going to have to do some transposing here. Remember that for a clarinet in B flat, you're going to write everything a major second higher than you want it to sound. Since this is monophony and we want it to sound in unison or in octaves, what we want is there's a G4 here. Let's have this clarinet also sound G4. So in order for this clarinet to sound G4, they'll play A4. So we're going to start with A. Now once you have the starting note, you can actually do everything intervallically, right? So for example, we have a step here, and then a skip. So we're going to move a step here, and then a skip. Now we know measure 2 repeats measure 1, so we're just going to rewrite that. From there, we see that we have a skip, step, step. So we're going to skip up, and then take a step, and then a step, and then we're going to repeat measure 3. So I can't play two voices in unison, so it's basically the same melody. But you would have to imagine that a singer and a clarinet are performing it together. Number 2 asks for homophony. So this is melody and accompaniment. Again, there are so many different options you have here. I'm going to do something very conventional and boring. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to repeat G and D over and over. So you can clearly see that the cello is not the melody, that this is purely accompanimental. So now if I play this on the keyboard, you're going to be able to hear the cello's part as accompaniment. Again, many different possibilities here for homophony. Now the last question asks for polyphony. what we're going to do in my example is I'm going to start out with 2 measures of rest. And I'm going to write what's called a canon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to then rewrite this here so that it's starting 2 measures later. So this is considered polyphony because voice number 1 has the melody, and while they still have the melody, voice number 2 is coming in with the melody. So we have 2 melodies going on at different times, yet at the same time. So let me go ahead and play this one. I can go ahead and play voice number 2 in the correct octave for this example. Now there are many other different examples of polyphony. I just happened to choose this one. And for many of these, there are many different options you could do, except for maybe monophony. That was pretty much the only correct answer. If you have any questions on texture, please reread section 10.5. You've now completed the tutorial for practice 10.5b. Thank you for watching.